On this episode of the Red and Gold Report, we're going to be examining the Chiefs' 27-17 win over the Jacksonville Jaguars, which was about as unexpected as chocolate ice cream being delicious. Who are the winners of this game? Well, we got to start on offense with the intriguing player of Kadarius Toney, the 2021 Giants first round draft wide receiver that the Chiefs recently traded for. And here's the thing. Tony had the exact type of game that proves that the Chiefs were right in coughing up a third round draft pick to trade for him. So, okay, the guy, uh, get this, the guy barely even knows the system. He hasn't even been in the facility for 2 weeks, but he ended the day with 4 catches, 57 yards receiving, 1 receiving touchdown, 33 yards rushing, and 2 punt returns. He had a short throw late in the second quarter that he turned into a big gainer, and an amazing catch at the end of the third quarter where he seemingly levitated over the Jaguars defender and he shored up the punt return game for the Chiefs, where, well, we have been a disaster over the first half of the season. So, yeah, I think that really qualifies as receiving an immediate return on the investment. And I love how the guy moves. He is so quick. He's so explosive. And it's going to be amazing to see him continue to develop in this offense. The next big winner of the game for the Red and Gold was, of course, Isaiah Pacheco. Look, everybody knows that the Chiefs' huge weakness on offense is running the football. It's been so bad this season that we don't have a single game where a running back, any rusher, has gone over 100 yards. And twice our leading rusher has actually been our quarterback. But Pacheco had 82 yards on 16 carries for a 5.1 yard average. And that average even included carrying the ball at the end of the game where he was just putting the game away against stacked defensive fronts. Now, was his first carry strangely a fumble? Yes, but he overcame that to turn in a great game and really a needed game for the Chiefs to prove that they did have a running game attack, and he has solidly cemented himself as clearly better than Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Also, center Creed Humphrey had a fantastic game, as always. The guy has allowed 0 sacks. 0 sacks on the season. And he just keeps playing, dominating the game in and out every week. It's weird. As bad as our offensive tackles have been this season, the interior of our offensive line, Tooney, Humphrey, and Smith, I believe, is the best in the entire NFL. And of course, Patrick Mahomes was great. He had 331 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception while just making it look plain easy. And again, he had a sneaky good game on the ground. Nobody gives him credit for this, but he picked up another 39 yards of rushing. Bouncing on over to defense, who were the winners over there? Well, rookie corner Trent McDuffie should really be in the mix for Defensive Rookie of the Year if he hadn't had that injury. He was incredible. He had 2 long pass deflections on long fourth quarter throws that were both just incredible, fantastic timing shown. He also added a tackle for loss, 7 tackles on the day. He has incredible feel in coverage, and I just hope the media eventually catches on to this. Linebacker Willie Gay had a good game, leading the team in tackles while adding a sack and a tackle for loss. Chris Jones, our star defensive tackle, had a sack and a half while adding some great plays that if you watch the film, he blows up plays and he never gets on the stat sheet for them. He's just so good every single week. I also thought rookie linebacker Leo Chanel was the most involved he has been in a game so far this season, and defensive tackle Kalen Saunders continues to prove that he is the Chiefs' second best defensive tackle, no questions asked. Now, who are the losers of this game? Well, the The referees in the NFL officiating system proved themselves to be a joke yet again. Juju Smith Schuster was literally knocked out in the second quarter with a head to head targeting hit. The joke of the refs threw a flag for unnecessary roughness. Then they stupidly picked that flag up, didn't call a penalty in the end, even though it was obviously a textbook hit on a defenseless receiver, and even though obviously the helmets hit, it was a clear helmet to helmet hit, and it wasn't flagged. Honestly, this is just unacceptable. It's terrible. The NFL likes to pretend like it wants to protect players, and they can't figure out how to call, these player protection fouls with any consistency. And I have to admit, I'm just so incredibly over the NFL's lack of a consistent officiating system. It's become a joke. And here's the problem. Here's the problem. Because of the unacceptable missed call, the same exact safety for the Jaguars, just plays later, launched himself again, into Marquez Valdez Scantling, leading with his head again, and injured another Chiefs wide receiver again. And it sent MVS out of the game because that young, ignorant Jaguar safety was not corrected by the refs. He got to hurt two different Chiefs wide receivers. And you know what? The refs didn't call it, even the second time. And even the second time, they just called a holding call. This is insane. The NFL officiating system is broken. And frankly, I am so over it. Also, having a not so great day. Chiefs special teams. Kicker Harrison Butker missed another extra point after missing two kicks last week. This is becoming a real serious problem for the Chiefs. There was also the fumbled return on the second quarter kick, and they allowed some long first half kick returns. I know that Dave Taub is supposed to be a special teams guru, but the Chiefs special teams, they got to get this cleaned up before the playoffs because it has not been good the first half of the season. And not to be negative, but what the heck is the Kansas City media doing? Not talking about safety Justin Reed and how much he's struggling. I mean, the guy got paid massive money to come to Kansas City in the offseason. But 9 weeks into the season, get this, he has zero interceptions, zero forced fumbles, zero tackles for loss, zero sacks, and only two passes deflected. He's also missing tackles all over the place. When is anybody going to start talking about this? But overall, it was a solid victory for the Chiefs. Not a blowout, and I know it's a bad team, but it's a solid victory. It's the type of victory that they should have over the lower end franchise in the league, like the Jaguars. The type of victory that should be assumed, but that we can still admire some excellent performances within. But now we turn our attention away from an afternoon game against the Jaguars that everybody knew we were going to win, and we look forward instead to next week on prime time Sunday night against the Chargers. So what do you think? Who do you think excelled again in this game against the Jaguars, and what are you looking forward to in this game against the Chargers? Leave me your comments in the comment section below. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and go Chiefs!